Hello, and welcome to the first look at Fier and the X-Men. It is a web-based fanfiction series that I am creating, basically centering around an original character that I created named Fier. His actual name is Koi Neely, and it's going to be a basic series looking through Koi's eyes at the world of the X-Men. Now, this world is going to be very familiar in some aspects to the various different mediums of the X-Men universe, comics, movies, cartoons, but with some fresh takes from my perspective of how I would like to see the X-Men universe run. But to get to the point of what this is all about, there's going to be a catastrophic event in this X-Men universe that basically starts a war. And we pick up 2 weeks after that war, where Fier is pretty much integrated into the X-Men and is learning about himself being a mutant, as well as other aspects of his personality, and also learning about the fellow members of the X-Men and how this war is going to escalate from here on out. And there are so many twists and turns that I planned for this, and I love that. That is my greatest passion as far as a filmmaker and a writer, is to create twists and turns and psychological, like, conundrums that, you just kind of don't see. And as I kind of pretty much set out before to say, was that there are going to be some elements of the X-Men universe that are very familiar, and I'm taking some freedoms in other areas as well. So even if you're not a fan of the X-Men in any form, I think this could still be pretty enjoyable for you. Angel isn't going to change a whole lot. I've changed his demeanor a little bit. Being that he was born in the US, I'm having him schooled in the UK, so he's going to have a British accent. Scott is going to be pretty much almost the same. He's going to be completely in control of his powers. He's going to be brooding, as he usually is. However, he's not going to be quite the Boy Scout that he's often portrayed as, until recently, from what I hear. So I'm kind of very much looking to dive into that persona of him. Dazzler is going to start out pretty much as a side character. She's a very famous pop singer, and I'm going to pretty much liken her to Lady Gaga. In the world of this X-Men universe, she's being almost outed as a mutant in the media, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding that, and she plays to it, and she plays against it. Havoc is the leader of the Brotherhood, and he has no idea of his ties to his brother, which is familiar territory to anyone who has read the comics, known the cartoon. Iceman, of course, is a member of the X-Men, and he's not tremendously different than any other incarnation other than the fact that he is gay in this universe. Jean, of course, is going to be very pivotal in my X-Men universe, as she is my favorite character. They're going to be very, very similar aspects to her transition in her story, and I'm not going to stray terribly far from that. I'm borrowing different elements from the Ultimate comic, very little from X-Men The Last Stand, and a little bit from the animated series Wolverine and the X-Men. So, but there are still some twists and turns that I hope that people don't expect, and we'll see how that goes. I'm very, very excited about this. course I want to take with Lilandra is, and I'm going to borrow a little bit from the Ultimate X-Men comic on this, is that she's not an alien creature. With Magneto, I'm kind of stemming from the X-Men First Class version. I think starting Xavier and Magneto younger is going to help progress the story along a little bit further than having them already placed as older individuals. One thing that I loved about X-Men First Class. And Magneto doesn't really have his full agenda set up. He has made some plays at the starting point of the series, but he's not a major character as of yet, but obviously he is going to be. Mastermind is a member of the Brotherhood, and being that he is a telepathic illusionist, there is going to be several aspects of the series that will entail his mark on what actually occurs, and in some ways may be expected, some ways not. Mystique, actually, aside the fact that I love Jean so much, I am so much more excited to write Mystique and envelop her in this world of just mass confusion. How I'm kind of seeing the point of the film is that the catastrophic event that happens at the beginning is going to be seen through the eyes of very many individuals throughout the series, and so much is going to be revealed in little aspects here and there. And with Mystique, you just never know where she's going to turn up. I mean, she's going to definitely have her role as Mystique throughout the series, but you don't know who she's portraying throughout the series, and that's what I love about her. And I'm just thrilled at the fact that to incorporate that kind of mystery and deviousness into the series is just really exciting me. Charles Xavier is going to be portrayed as the younger Charles Xavier. Even though the senior members of the X-Men are going to be adults, I figured that Charles and Magneto shouldn't be tremendously older than them. It's kind of like the dawn of the mutant age, so that's kind of like what I really like about this. I didn't want to have the X-Men be teenagers, say, like in First Class. Charles's character isn't really going to be anything different than what we've seen thus far as the comics go. There's going to be hints of his character from the movie First Class. And there's obviously consequences to the catastrophic event that happens, which any of you in the comic world know, or even from seeing First Class will know where I'm going with that. And the fact is that I had that idea in mind before the movie came out, and I'm so mad. So mad. I wasn't the first one to come out with that. Anyhow, Charles is going to be a very conflicted person emotionally. He's still very driven as far as like his ideal as far as mutant existence and what his dream is, but there's a lot of stuff emotionally that's going to go on with him. And that's where I'm taking it with him. Scarlet Witch actually turns out to be an open mutant who is best friends with Koi, my original character. After the events of what actually happens, she makes a choice in her life, and she sides with the Brotherhood. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Mr. Sinister is pretty much my favorite villain in the X-Men universe. primarily because he focuses on Jean and Scott, my two favorite characters. But he actually has a really interesting history, and I really think that I could do some interesting things with him. Storm, I really, really love the character. She is actually the character that first drew me into the X-Men. Um, and I really want to take like a different approach with her. But her character is so awesome that, you know, it's just like, why do you want to stray from that, you know? I think I want to make her a little bit more edgy. And I think that's where I'm going to take it. Like, I really loved like her 80s mohawk look, you know, that edgy, like, no holds barred kind of, you know, her powers got stripped away, you know, she had nothing left, you know, to really examine herself by. So I kind of want to take a look at that but still have her powers. Valerie Cooper was one of my favorite characters of the X Factor series in the 90s when they were government run. And she is pretty much going to be, I'm not going to call it CIA, but the government liaison, as she has been portrayed in the comics, to helping to either sort out one way or another how the mutant agenda is going to go with the government. And I've got so many wonderful things lined up for her, and I can't wait. Can't wait. I'm very excited. Emma, I can't say it's going to be tremendously different than what she's been portrayed. You can trust her, but you can't. And it's all really going to depend on who she aligns herself with and who she doesn't. So there's going to be a lot of mystery with her too. And she's a very, very fun character to play around with. And I'm really hoping for the right voice actor to play her, because I know I couldn't pull it off. Not as well as I think other people could. And I'm hoping, Leslie, that you can do this for me. So anyhow, that's a little bit about Fier and the X-Men, and I hope you stay tuned. There's a lot of work that has to be done before initial filming starts. So, but I'll be posting updates here and there, and I hope you enjoy the ride as much as I do.